Okay, in this lecture we're going to talk about folder directories and how to set up an organizational system to keep your files organized as they go through the pipeline of digital production. This method that I'm going to show you is based on a Library of Congress standard, and it is something that I've seen employed in many places, and it's something that works for me. There are many adaptations of it, but I just want to show you the basic structure. So I already have that set up here in this folder, which is on my travel drive, and I'll show you where that is. But basically I have this hard drive here that is for offloading pictures from my camera card when I'm in the field. I'll get to my laptop and I'll dump everything onto this hard drive here. You'll notice that all of the contents of this hard drive is in this single folder, and the reason for that is it helps you migrate files to a new drive when that time comes, and it will, because all hard drives fail, unfortunately. So it's just factoring in that with digital media, we're always only waiting for the next platform or medium to come along to push our data to. So by putting everything in one folder like this, you can just drag and drop it to a new hard drive. Okay, so within there, we have this tiered system that I've assigned numbers to in the folder names so that they organize numerically. But basically, this first folder is all raw files. So I just dump all my raw files in there, and they are all just chronological by date. The second folder is stuff that I've exported from this raw folder, and I've put it in here into project folders, and I've started working on this stuff and editing it. And so it's made it to this second stage of the workflow. And then the third place is stuff that's been outputted and formatted for production. So that's ready to go. Everything in here is a project that's ready to be put back into the archive at home on my main computer. And the fourth one here is an output folder where I keep things that I have specified for different uses. So if I'm updating my website, I just output JPEGs ready to go on the web here. These are prints that I might send out to a lab. These are emails to clients. So anyway, I keep all of those output folders organized here. We won't get that complex with our structure, but I just want to show you how to set it up basically and how it works. So let's walk through that. Let's make a new folder and just assume we're doing this from scratch. We will press Shift Command N and title this last name, first name. So I'll just say Davis Ben, and go inside of there and create a new folder. Shift Command N, and let's zero pad this folder name this time. Say 01 underscore capture. So we're just going to dump all of our raw files here. Next folder, Shift Command N, 02 underscore working. So inside of here will be all of our project names and crazy project titles inside of folders. Shift Command N, 03 underscore output. So inside of here, we will have those same project folders, but in here they'll be sized and ready to go. Oops. And let's import some images and walk them through the pipeline so we see how it works. So I'm going to go up to the camera icon here, hit the camera plus icon to import. It's gathering all the images off of my card. And let's go ahead and select the folder where we want to dump them. And already it's in that capture folder. That's good. And subfolders, let's create none and just make this a long chronological list. So let's set up our naming schema now. So you can see I've got it set up here as my initials, underscore, and then the date with the year first, then the month, then the day. That way, all the files fall together by year, and that's a much easier way to find them. And then we have a sequence number at 3 digits so that anything we shoot on the same day can also get organized. All right, that looks good. And we want to convert them to DNG always. So that's good. So let's hit Get Medium. Let it do its work. We won't let the whole thing run, but we'll just let some of them go. All right, that's probably good. So let's take a look in this capture folder. So that did exactly what we wanted it to do. It dumped our raw files in here, converted them to DNG, and organized them by date. And that's good. So now the first step in the editing process takes place. We need to look through this folder and figure out how we want to organize it, and we can do that multiple ways. We can do that with keywords over here. We can assign keywords, and keywords can be kind of like a folder structure. They can be hierarchical, or you can sort them by assigning a star rating. We'll say that one we may want to keep. And we'll say this one is a little better, so it's 2 stars. This one here might be also 2 stars. And over here we can see those star ratings add up, so we can say let's just filter out the ones with 2 stars for our purpose right now. And we look at those and we say, yeah, those are great looking files. We want to keep those and make them go on to the next step in this project. We'll highlight those. And the first step is to open those up in Camera Raw with this pinwheel icon. And you can see all the files we chose down here in the film strip. And we can kind of adjust them over here, make any last adjustments that we want. And then we want to designate where they go next. So we're gonna say that we've worked on these all. We're gonna work on them, and they're raw files, and that's good because all of the adjustments we make here are not baked into the file yet until we process it. So let's designate where we want them to go, and we'll say save in new location. And now we're going to pick that working folder. Select that. And we're going to set up our naming schema now for our projects. And we'll say, just for our purpose, we're going to create the naming schema we want to use for this class. So it's going to be last name, module number, and assignment name. JPEG is good. Always choose maximum resolution. sRGB if you're using JPEGs. Our specs are 1500 pixels on the long side, so that's a web ready file. And yes, we want to sharpen these for screen, but really what you want to do when you're outputting to your working folder is select TIFF. You want to create the largest file you can possibly create. So we want that to actually be Adobe 1998. And we're going to say don't resize. We're going to make it the full resolution. And we're not going to sharpen at all. So that's really what we want to do here. Click Save. And done. And up here with this breadcrumb trail, we can navigate back to that folder. And let's look inside of working. And there is the file we chose to export. So let's create a folder for that one. Let's say emulation put it inside of there. And that's a full-size TIFF. That's the most archival digital file type you can create. But let's say we want to end up on the web, so we need to actually size that for the web. So one way to do that is to bring it into Photoshop here and size it that way, or you can open it back up in Camera Raw, click the box with a down arrow at the top, and select the output folder and create a new folder and say emulation again, so you know that these are the output files for that project. And this time we want to select JPEG and do our web settings like we talked about. So alongside 1500 JPEG at maximum quality, and color space should be sRGB. So that looks good. And we are going to sharpen this time. Click done, and then go back here, and that's good. So maybe even we want to designate these in the output folder as emulation web ready. So we know that everything related to this project that is ready to be published on the web is here, and everything that we're still working on is here, and the raw file is here. So if we need to go back and make any adjustments, we would probably want to revisit the raw file because that's the best place to start revisiting a file. But if you want to make any adjustments that you've already made to the TIFF, you go here and you just walk down that pipeline, because the best practice way to do it is to start with the biggest file and then export to the smaller file size. All right, thanks for watching.